Hello, everybody, and welcome back to FX Street. Uh, Today, we're going to be taking a look at as usual, since it's Monday, we're going to be taking a look at the screener. We're going to be taking a look at the top gainers and an interesting topic that I want to talk about. All right, so let's start with the top gainers and top losers for the week. But before we actually get dive deeper into the technicals, I want to direct your attention to the FX Street YouTube channel. If you enjoy the content that we put out on a daily basis now, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon. You can also follow us on Twitter at FXS Crypto. Right? If you like what I do, you can give me a follow on Twitter as well at Mangeko with the 0 at the end. Right, so let's get back to the top gainers, right? If you look at MTL, which is Metal Perp, it rose roughly 60% last week. And right now there's going to be a pullback. Interestingly enough, I'm not sure if I discussed this last time, but I think I was taking a look at this particular move up here, which was an FVG, a fair value gap that was present here. And there's also almost an equal highs formed around here. And that's collected right now. And what I'm expecting next for price from a technical perspective is for it to retrace lower. So let's just take a look at it on a daily time frame. All right, as you can see, the first upswing here retraced back to the 62 retracement level here. Again, I'm expecting something similar to happen here for metal in this week. Right, you can expect it to come back to 0.75 if you're lucky, which is $2.17, or it could start bouncing directly from $2.2 to 62 retracement level. Right, either way, it's the same shebang for weekly gainers, guys. Like the price rises and then it retraces. So yep, you can expect the retracement to continue for another 8% or 12%, and that's where you can expect a bounce or reversal. Right, and from the looks of it, MTL seems to have overcome this major hurdle that was present here. And yeah. So right now it's kind of getting rejected around here, but either way, just look out for this the completion of this rounded bottom here. Right, and once we get a flip above roughly $2.45, I think that's when you can expect the price to kind of start moving higher, in which case you can expect a move to $3, roughly $3, and beyond that is going to be $3.5. Right, so definitely going to keep an eye on this one. The coin's been showing quite a bit of strength lately, so it's going to be interesting to see how MTL evolves in the coming week. Right, let's take a look at the next coin, which is Audio. And I'm not sure if I remember correctly, but Audio did pop up on one of the videos that I did where I take a look at the screeners. Right, so yep, back to Audio, right? So on a weekly time frame, the coin rallied approximately 21%, not a lot as compared to MTL, but there seems to be a lot of consolidation taking place here. Like if you look at the last 3 weeks, the price has almost stayed in this range, which extends from $1, $1.05 to $1.45 or $6. And from a 3-day time frame perspective, this is also forming some sort of a rounded bottom here. So you can either expect the price to consolidate under this for quite some time, or like once we get a flip of $1.51, then you can expect the price to make a move to 1.9, roughly $2. Right, again, not a lot of difference compared to the TA that I did for MTL. Right, so to sum it up from a 3-day perspective, hold up. Cool. So as long as MTL stays between 1.45 and 1.28, I don't think there's any threat to the coin. I believe it's going to continue going higher. But if we lose 1.28, there's a good chance we could come down, fill this inefficiency that's present below roughly $1, right? We don't want to lose $1 on a weekly time frame. If we get a weekly close below $1, there's a good chance price could head down to 0.8485. But if that doesn't happen, if the price manages to stay in between 1.45 and 1.28 on a weekly time frame, I think there's a good chance price could overcome 1.45 and make a run towards $2. And if we're lucky, we could probably see audio go up to $2.6, $2.7. Right. So to sum it up, you have 1.45 and 1.28 as the main levels that kind of determine the directional bias for audio. A move above 1.45 could propel it to $2 and probably 2.6. A move below 1.28, roughly 1.30, could push it down to 0.84 and 0.75. That's pretty much it for Audius or audio. The next coin up for discussion is Origin Protocol. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what's happening here. I'm not sure when I set up this position, but on a weekly time frame, the resistance level that I drew here, or support level that I drew here at extending from 0.55 to 0.58 is holding up pretty good, which especially if you look at this particular week here on 14th March, the second week of March, price not only moved above the resistance level, but it flipped it and now it's retesting it as a support. Right, and interestingly enough, the fib extensions that I drew here from 13th March up to 20th March, the 50% retracement level kind of coincides with the support level. And as I explained here, the retest of the 70 retracement level or any level here between 0.38 to 0.48 would be a good buy. And so far, things are holding up pretty good here for Origin Protocol. From a weekly time frame, I think things are much more easier and to understand. It's much more black and white on a weekly time frame. Right now, price is holding pretty good above 0.55. So as long as we don't lose that, there's a good chance OGN could head back to 1.24. From the current position, this would be 110% upswing. As for the downside, we have the demand zone here extending from 0.4 to 0.45. So you don't want to see price produce a daily close below this, in which case you could expect OGN to head down to 0.31. Right, let me just change this to this so it's easier. We have filled this fair value gap, so let me just take that off. Right, so right now everything depends on the 0.58 to 0.55 support level, and then you have the demand zone here extending from 0.40 to 0.45. If it lose 0.40, there's a good chance price could head back to 0.31 and probably even form some sort of a base around 0.31, right? And that could indeed complete this triple tap setup that I see here, where a low forms and then deviates below the low. And then the price could come back down here and complete this massive move to 1.24. But either way, I think things are looking pretty good here for OGN. So, yep, where the upside is capped at 1.24 and the downside at 0.31. The top losers include ANC, which is Anchor Protocol. It's surprising that the coin is dropping quite a bit. But if you look at the protocol, there's a constant 20% APR on the website. Right, so the coin dropped roughly 25% last week. So there's not a lot of trading data here for OGN. So I'm just going to start from this particular point and extend the fib all the way up to its all-time high at roughly 6.19. Right, and so as you can see here, the price is extremely oversold right now, and I believe there's a good risk to reward ratio for betting on ANC right now. right? And again, so there's not a lot of trading data here for ANC on a weekly time frame. So there's no point in using indicators. The awesome oscillator is kind of stabilizing. You can see some sort of a base form around here, and then the price moves higher. So yeah, I think there's a good chance for that. Let me just check something. This is the monthly close, the previous monthly close. Okay, so a lot of times what happens for price is that the price actually, you know what, never mind. So yep, so from a fib, using a fib tool, you can see that the price has dropped well below 50% retracement level and is now heading extremely close to the range low at 1.30, right? If I were to bet on this coin, it would be right now, because I'm expecting the price to consolidate here below the $2.3, and somewhere, if it forms a base around here, basically something like this, before the price actually shoots up, hits the 50 retracement level, and then consolidates again. This is the kind of price action I'm expecting from ANC, mainly because I'm a little bullish on Bitcoin, right? So I'm expecting good things for Bitcoin in the month of April. So honestly, there's not a lot of technical here to explain, technical stuff to explain. It's basically a gut feeling and kind of based on how I'm positioned for Bitcoin. And my directional bias for Bitcoin shows that it's bullish. So I think now would be a really good time for the people. If you want to accumulate right now, I think is the best time. So let's move on to the next loser of the week, which is COTI. This coin dropped 17%. Wow. And if you look at this particular week here, this week here on the 4th April gave you a good indication as to the sellers in the market. Right, so let's go down to a daily time frame. Oof, so much consolidation, right? And if you actually, let's take it from March. Right, so as you can see here, the volume point of control for March is around 0.21. The volume point of control for COTI for the month of April is around 0.28. Since the breakdown of the support level here at 0.27, the price has dropped drastically. It tried to move back higher, retested it, got rejected massively again, as you can see here by the long wick present on the top side. And I believe the price is now heading down to this March volume point of control, and some sort of a base is going to form around here before the price makes another attempt to move higher. But it's going to face a lot of resistance around 0.24. So this is the first hurdle that the price needs to overcome. Beyond this, there's 0.25. So I'm expecting a lot of turbulence for COTI between 0.24 and 0.25. But for now, I believe the downswing for COTI is done, and we're looking at another 5 to 6% drop. So for now, the upside, from a conservative standpoint, the upside is capped at 0.24 and 0.25, the downside at 0.21. And in a highly bullish case, you could expect the price to retest 0.27. And if we're lucky, we could probably get a wick where the price retests the April volume point of control at 0.28. Right. And just to clarify, a volume point of control is where the coin traded for a longer duration of time. Basically, where the volume for the coin was traded a lot. This is called volume point of control, and often these points tend to serve as a support and resistance level. And if you just ignore the, okay, let me just, right. So, and if you look at this, so assuming we were in the first week of April, on 3rd April, you can see the price left a massive gap here when it rallied from around 0.23 to 0.27. This gap is extremely important. This is again known as an inefficiency. And what usually happens is price goes back and trades into this level. And if I just press play here, you can see what's going to happen next. After a lot of consolidation, the price dips below, collects liquidity present in here, and now it's going down. So right now we have another gap here extending from roughly 0.22 to 0.21. So that's currently being filled right now. As price trades a lot here, this volume gets filled, and now now there's a good support here. So that's the reason I'm expecting the price to reverse and go back to 0.24. The last coin up for discussion on the weekly losers is IMX. The price dropped only 15% last week, which is okay. And if you just draw a fib tool from the 7th March, from the first week of March to this peak here, we're currently at 70.5 retracement level. Typically speaking, this level indicates that the price is oversold, only if you look at this particular relative to this rally. So as I mentioned, this is a buying zone. Anywhere between 79 retracement level and 62 retracement level is a buy zone. So anywhere from $1.4 to $1.7 is a buy zone for IMX. And as you can see here, the price is already starting to form some sort of a base here. So I think since the coins are already oversold and since I'm bullish on Bitcoin, I think these top losers could be a good buy. Only problem with ANC is that there's not a lot of trading data. So we're just going based on our gut and also just on the Bitcoin's directional bias. So if Bitcoin actually reverses, then none of these setups will hold true. But regardless, since I am bullish on Bitcoin and I'm expecting good things to happen for Bitcoin, I believe this is the sort of price action I'm looking at for IMX. Right? If we're lucky, we could get a swift move to the range high. Right? This is from a bullish standpoint, but if Bitcoin continues to drop, there's a good chance price is going to come down, sweep the lows, and form a base round here. The low at $1.1. So upside for now capped at $2.8 and downside capped at 1.4. But if we get a daily close or a sweep below $1.1 with the range low, which would indicate that, it would indicate that this is a bearish scenario, in which case you can wait for the price to stabilize, move back into the range high, and then you can long IMX. So that is pretty much it for the top gainers and losers. If you enjoyed this session of analysis, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.